Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Saunch here. Welcome back to another episode here on the Bodybuilding News Network, BNN, of course. If you find yourself enjoying this style of content coverage or contest coverage, consider subscribing. But in this video, we're going to be doing my coverage of the 2022 Muscle Contest Ireland Pro 212. Seems that it was the only weight class there outside of the various NPC divisions or classes, however you want to say it. This also was the same weekend of the Indie Pro, so definitely got a little overshadowed, but I wanted to give the respects to, a former Olympian and now a future Olympian, David Henry being a previous 212 Mr. Olympia champion. And the person who won the show, Robert Taylor, is now going to be an Olympian in 2022 if he can make the show. So we also have another Olympian, PASQUALE D'ANGELO. He won last year's, I think it was the Portugal Pro or the Big Man Weekend, one of those. And he was able to qualify for the Olympia. So lots of cool names here. Although there was only 4 competitors in this show, really not so big lineup for the 212. And I saw in the comment sections that you guys actually mentioned that there's been a couple shows so far in the 212 that just haven't had a lot of competitors in the lineup. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm not sure if there's restrictions or people just don't want to get out there and compete. I don't know. I do not know. But let's go ahead and run through the scorecard here. Like I said, we already talked about the first place and second place, but let's go ahead and talk about fourth place, and then we'll run up to 1. PASQUALE D'ANGELO, or D'ANGELO PASQUALE, ended up in 4th place here. Now, as I pull up the graphics for you, fine people, last time we saw him was at the Olympia last year. Last year he placed, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe he placed 12th. At last year's Olympia in the 212, 11th in the 212, placing 9th at the Romania Muscle Fest Pro, and 2nd at the Europa Pro Championships. So last year at the Europa Pro, the top 2 qualified. So that's how he was able to make that qualification to the Olympia. That's now it's starting to come back to me. But, I thought he brought an okay package here. Definitely, by far, his Olympia showing was the best. Very interesting to see, he comes into these shows and he places 7th or 8th, but then you look at his Olympia placings and, he places 11th in the world of all 212s. So it's very interesting to see how the placings can differ depending on the judging. Of course, always the conditionings can play a big part, but, best of luck to PASQUALE D'ANGELO in the near future. I'm sure he's going to do a lot of shows, as this was his first show in the 212 in 2022. Next up, we have Mr. ZAGARELLA. Don't ask me to say his full name. I do apologize. That's just not. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But this is his 212 debut. He's competed in men's classic physique for a couple of years now. It looks like it's going all the way back into 2019, where he actually did the Olympia. He was able to compete at the Olympia in 2019, and then kind of just sprinkled in some shows here and there. Some of the photos you're going to see of him, the Europa Pro, the Evolution Pro, Big Man Evolution, Puerto Rico Pro. So he's kind of competed here and there in some different shows, but recently, like I just said, he converted and transitioned over to the 212. I think it looks phenomenal. I think he did a really good job with his transition, still keeping that the shape and the structure. I'm still waiting for the photos to get published from the show, but we do have some footage. We do have some comparison shots, although they're not great quality. I'll make sure I sprinkle those in the videos so you guys can enjoy that. But not sure what his plans are, but I'm sure he'll do a lot of shows this year. A guy who does not need to do a lot of shows is former Mr. Olympia in the 212, David Henry. We saw him last year. He did the Masters Legion Sport Fest, winning that show handedly. And then he also did the Toronto Pro Show in the 212 and placed top 3, so 3rd place. Coming into this show, Finishing second, I don't have any ill intent or any negative things to say about that. I thought he looked really good in this show. Good conditioning, good separation. Could be a little tighter, could be a little sharper. His midsection's kind of been critiqued from time to time. It's blocky. It definitely flows in a weird way. I don't know if that's just age or what, but I think he did a good job. And for how long he's been competing over a decade in the pros, you really can't ask for much more than that. So congratulations on his second place finish. And rounding off the list, the newest addition to the Olympia Club, the Olympia class of 2022, is Mr. Robert Taylor. Now, the last time we saw Robert Taylor is actually in 2021. He did 2 shows. He did the Yamamoto Pro Cup, or Yamamoto Cup Pro in Italy, placing 9th in Men's Open. And then also last year, he did the Europa Pro Championship in Men's Open. So interesting. I think the Yamamoto was a 212 show. So my correction, a quick correction. But I like what I saw from him. I think he definitely earned the title. He only had to battle against 4 guys. So, I think that makes it a little easier for him. But all in all, I thought it was a good show. This stage was kind of funny. It was like an opera stage where the stands go into the crowd. So it's kind of an interesting show, but I wanted to hop on here and just share that information with you guys. Special thanks to bodybuilding.uk for the photos, and of course Daniel over at Bodybuilders Without Borders for his excellent coverage of the Italy Pro, the Ireland Pro. Apologies. And of course, thanks to my sponsors, TubeBuddy, check that out, YouTube stuff. Also, Ninja Viking for clothing and cool lifting shoes. First Attachment Nutrition. Use code Saunch for all supplement needs. And Jim_Pin. Use code Saunch if you guys want to get some really awesome gym lifting gear. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Saunch, and I'll see you guys in the next one.